Well, people, last night was those Tony Awards. Did you watch? I wasn't going to say anything, but that doesn't seem like me, does it? I just came up from the gym. I got to get my shoes off. These hoof holders are killing me. Anyways, last night, the end, okay, so it was 2 hours on Paramount Plus. So first let's talk about the fact that if you wanted to watch them, you had to pay for the Paramount streaming service. How dare you? Followed by a 2-hour Broadway is Back concert on CBS, which also was when they announced the big, best musical, best play award, blah, blah, blah. All right. So it ended with, they reunited a few different duets from famous shows, from Rent, from Wicked, and most crazily from Ragtime, Brian Stokes Mitchell and Audra McDonald singing The Wheels of a Dream. And I'm telling you, I was not well for that. It was epic. Let's go on the terrace. This is going to be a long video. Sit down. I'm about to. Anyways, it was like time hadn't passed. They were just insanely beautifully singing that, and I was ugly crying. So just now I went to the gym and thought, let me listen to Ragtime. I am lifting weights and I'm like, it has been too long since I've musical theatered, and it's catching up to me. All my musical theater's right here on the surface. I can cry at the overture of Cats. That's not a lie. I'm going to say, watching the Tonys, having just last Thursday accepted the job on Diana the Musical, made it a lot more pleasant than me being bitter Betty sitting there like, who's working, who got what? Well, good for them. That said, let's do the deep dive. The Tony Awards. I've probably said this before. Buckle up. We all know that, any awards like that, best, already a relative term. The best musical nominees nominated by a certain rather small number of nominators in the nominating committee. There is also things like you have to get a certain percent of nominations in order to be a nominee. So it's not, there's somehow, if a certain entry doesn't even get X percentage, they can't, even though certain nominators nominated it, it can't even be nominatable. Which is why we had this year a category where Best Actor in a Musical had one nominee. I wonder if he'll win. One nominee. Crazy. So in any given year, there's also, this is what is out this year. There are years where, and I'm going to get this wrong, there's history that says like the same year that West Side Story opened was the same year that Music Man opened. Probably not accurate, but something very similar. Classic, but in that particular year, they didn't both win Best Musical. You have to put into that, this is the best musical based on what is available this season, as then determined by these nominators as eligible for nomination, then voted on by a larger body, but not a huge body, of voters. So it's all relative. I've worked on shows that won Best Musical that in a different season, get away from my flies on the 30th floor, get away. I have worked on shows that in a different season would have been not even close to nominated and closed in 6 months. Instead, won Best Musical, and everyone, we did? How did we? Really? And ran for 2 years. And then regional theaters, and then tours, and then popular, and then everyone knows that show. It's a relative thing. So let's jump to this particular year, 2 years actually. Usually the Tony cutoff date for nomination is, I think it's May 1st, or right around May 1st, which is why you see so many shows opening in April. So they're fresh in the minds of the nominators. This year, because of the pandemic, which shut us down March 12th, a lot of shows were in previews, had not opened, hadn't even started performances, or blah, blah, blah. Somehow they decided the cutoff date was February 1st, not even March 12th, February 1st. So there were shows that had opened between February 1st and March 12th shut down that were no longer even eligible for nomination. What? It was just a shit show of like, wait, what? Now, let's also consider, and I'm sure I've gone over this before, as soon as they said they were doing it, the American Theater Wing and the League and everybody, all the people that do the Tonys, and let's be clear, the Tonys are our national commercial. Come to New York. This is what we've got on the boards this year. Come down and see Bestity Best Best. It matters when you get the win for Best. I know of an individual who was nominated for Best Featured Actor in a Musical. Another one of his castmates was also nominated, same category, Best Featured Actor in a Musical. The producers went to this guy and said, congratulations, we love you, but we're throwing our weight and publicity behind him because it's better for the show and the longevity of the show. Show business, people. Good luck to you. Congratulations on your nomination. We're going to see that he wins over you. Business. So it matters when you can say winner best musical, but look back over history and it's like, yeah, because there was nothing but shit that year. What was I saying? The League, pandemic. They could have taken their considerable weight and power and pushed to get all of us who have worked for them for our lifetimes paid very fairly. I have no complaint about what I get paid or anything, all right? They could have worked to help get emergency unemployment extensions or provisions or grants or whatever for all of us in their industry that got closed down. They didn't. When George Floyd got murdered and the whole country focused on Black Lives Matter and really took a stand, of course they put out a statement, each and every one of them, everybody, every producer, every league, every theater, everybody said, yes, yes, Black Lives Matter. And that is all they did. So instead, they said, let's do a Tony Awards. We're doing the Tonys. The Tonys are happening. We're doing the Tonys. Why? Why? Nothing's open. No one knows when we're coming back. None of us know what the future even looks like. Let's do a big dance about the Tonys? Okay. And they did. Now, the other thing is, when the Tonys in a normal year happen, cutoff date May 1st. Nominations by about May 10th, 12th or something. Tonys, June. So it's a real condensed period. These nominations were put out 10 months ago. We're doing it. No one's talking about it. We're doing it. No one's talking about it. What are you doing? So now they kind of were able to corral it wisely with the Tonys / Broadway is back. Come see a show. You'll be safe here. Ba, 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 ba. We drove that message home last night. Faux show. So there it all is. So last night was this whole wait, what? Because when it came down to it, only 3 musicals had even opened to be eligible as Best Musical. Tina Turner, Jagged Little Pill, Moulin Rouge. I worked on the only other original musical, The Lightning Thief. Now, nobody thought that was going to win a Best Tony Award, but it could have filled some categories. It was shut out, shunned, not even looked at by anybody. Okay. There was no category for Best Original Score because the 3 musicals that are up are all music from pre-existing sources. Well, that's great. So the whole thing was a little what? Anyway, it happened. The Tonys. And it was a joyous night of we're back, how great. And what's interesting moving forward, and we all knew this, was since it doesn't seem like anybody up here is truly dedicated to doing social justice changes aside from what looks like a very cosmetic, make it look great on the surface, hire one person of color on the board, put another person of color in the room, plunk. It doesn't seem like they're dedicated to any substantial change. And a lot of the people that were able to speak on the mic last night said, then we will have to do it from within. And that is what I completely plan to do everything I can to make that happen. Because I will say that Backstage on Broadway is a very predominantly white environment. I've already talked to wardrobe supervisors about the fact that we do have people of color in our local, a lot of whom choose to work on TV and film, which is part of why we have a very white wardrobe universe backstage. We can still widen the doorway. My goal is going to be to look into, do we have outreach to let high school students and college know that being a Broadway dresser is a viable career for you and you are all welcome to take part in this. we'll see. That's going to be a to be continued. The other thing that's very dismaying about awards in general, and the Tonys for sure, is how seldom the crew, the wardrobe staff, the dressers, the stage managers, casting directors, all the other people get even a nod from a winner of just thank you. They will thank their cast, they will thank their agent, they will thank their partner who puts up with me. But you know what? It's a rare occasion when someone says, my dresser. I saw a designer last night, I'm not going to say who or what, a designer win an award, thank everybody but the cab driver who drove them to the ceremony, and didn't even acknowledge the department that works their butts off to make their work look good 8 shows a week. Really? So you know what? On the Tonys, bitter Betty that I am, I've always had a love-hate with that thing. You know that. We've talked about this. I have Tony damage. Now, that said, I have yet to ever work the Tonys. I'm about to go work on my 28th Broadway show that I've been attached to. I have never gone to the Tonys with a show. I either got there after the show had been to the Tonys already, or we shut down before we even got near the Tonys, or just weren't nominated and ignored. So maybe next spring when we do it for real, the way we usually do in June, and it's going to be a much bigger season this year, maybe if we don't get shut down by a variant, maybe I'll end up finally working a show at the Tonys. Likewise, I've never worked a show for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. As crazy as it is. I was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade when I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's a different story. Dropped that little eggcorn there, didn't I? But I've never worked that, so maybe Diana's going to do the parade. I can't say. But anyways, on the one hand, I sat in my room, ugly crying over the Tonys, as I always do. On the other hand, I sat there rolling my eyes over like, well, this is some bullshit. But you know what? That's awards, isn't it? You know, I want everyone to win. I'm thrilled for nominees. Good for you. Congratulations. But this is a bullshit. Anyways, Christ, I'm tired. I think it might also be because of ragtime and me just sobbing over listening to them do that again last night and then again at the gym today. That was a mistake. I am lifting weights with tears like welling up in my eyes while everybody else at the gym is probably like, what's her problem? Anyways, that's my 2 cents about the Tony Awards. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. You will anyway. Go make like this on my video. Oh, by the way, when I announced in my video that I got Diana, I got at least within 2 hours, I had at least one, I don't like that you got a job. What the fuck is wrong with people? Best idiot on YouTube goes to. Okay, bye.